everyone, and welcome back to another FretroView. My name is Fret, and today's game we'll be going over Shining Wisdom. I really don't know what to say about this game, really. I guess I should start from the beginning. I got this game when I was a kid. I don't remember what prompted me to get this game. I think I was all Sonic jammed out. I had played the crap out of that. There were some other games I did have on the Sega. Oh, I should say this is for the Sega Saturn. So I I didn't have the money to buy games for my Sega Saturn. I always had to ask my mother or my older brother. They would buy games for me. But this game, I had spent my own money on. I had finally worked up enough, and I was like, finally, I can go get a game that I worked hard for. And I went to the EB, just rummaging through the shelves looking for something interesting, and I picked Shining Wisdom. And I gotta say, the main reason I picked Shining Wisdom was because the box art looked cool. That is the only reason why, really. I didn't know anything about Shining Wisdom. Didn't know. I knew it was an RPG. I could tell just by the box art, and I looked at the back. But I didn't know what kind of RPG it was. Back then, I didn't have the internet. So I was really good flying blind with any game I bought, really. And pretty much every game I bought was pretty solid. So I didn't think that, why would this be any different? And boy, did I make the wrong choice. Now, the whole point of these Fretro views was for me just to go back and play games I played as a kid, just to see, if they held up. Or was I just a young dumb kid who didn't know, didn't have good taste in video games? Well, I can safely say that I did have good taste in games as a kid, because I thought this game sucked when I was a kid, and I still think it sucks now. Uh, it's terrible. This game's not good. I was disappointed when I got this game and I put it in as a child, and as an older gentleman now, I figured, hey, it can't be that bad. You know, maybe I was just young and I didn't know, you know, what I was doing. Which undoubtedly I did not know what I was doing when I was a kid. But going back and playing it now, I got to tell you guys, I could barely make it anywhere. Not anywhere. I can make it in the game. It's the game is terrible. I don't even know how to. Well, I'm going to explain it, but I just don't know like how to convey to you how bad this game is. It's not good. I even went back. I thought maybe it was just me, so I went back and looked at reviews today to see what people thought about this game. I was like, surely it's not just me. Surely. So I checked out a couple reviews and they were mixed. I'm like, how is this mixed? Okay, I'll get into it. But there were some people saying, this game was like a decent Zelda clone. I'm like, no, it's not. No, not even close. This game, I mean, it is a Zelda clone, but not a decent one. Not no. That nah. I disagree with those guys. Um, this game is terrible. It's really bad, and I'll get into it. So let's go ahead and we'll start with the story. So the story of this game is like most RPGs back in the day. You are a child of a legendary warrior, and this is your first day. Well, he's going to be a guard. So this is his first day on guard duty at the castle, and he's been his legendary warrior father is dead. He's passed away. I guess he got ate by a dragon or something. They probably mentioned it. I don't know. I didn't care enough to even find out what happened to the dad. But he's dead. So you, as the main character, have been living with your grandparents. So you have to fill your father's shoes, and to do that, you've been enlisted into the castle guard. This is your first day. The grandfather teaches you. He says it's an attack technique, but it's really just running. which I'll get into that a little later. But yeah, your grandfather teaches you this running technique, which is supposed to be an attack, but it's not. And then yeah, you're off to the castle. And now, so on your first day, you get set up with a partner who's useless, and I guess he's supposed to be comic relief or whatever, but he doesn't. He's terrible at his job, and stuff happens. The evil wizard dude, who I'll show you guys the intro. It's bad, but the evil wizard guy is wanting something from the king, so he curses the king's daughter in order to get the king to give him whatever it is he wants. I'm not sure. I don't remember what it was. So you have to protect the princess, and thus your adventure begins and stuff happens. Um, all that's fine and dandy. It's a generic story. It may get better as you play. I don't know. I don't remember beating this game as a kid. I know I made it farther as a kid than I did now, but I couldn't stomach. And I know the reason I played it as much as I did is because I spent my own money on this game, and I was like, I'm not going to waste it. So yeah, I think I made it farther then than I did now. I think I made it 5 hours in, and I tapped out. I was like, nope, can't do it. So yeah, that's pretty much the story. You're off doing crazy adventures. There's a giant overworld you run around in, and there's signs everywhere to show you, where the dungeons are, caves, forest, woods, area, stuff like that. Kind of like Zelda. I guess you can't really go out of order. Like you can go to the places, but you can't do anything because you won't have the proper items to like make it through the area. So you kind of do have to go in order, but you can explore if you want. So that leads us into the worst part of the game, which is the gameplay. It's bad, very bad. So with the Sega Saturn, the standard controller, you have 8 buttons. You have your A, B, and C, X, Y, and Z, and then your 2 trigger buttons at the top. This game only uses the A, B, and C for some reason. I have no idea why it doesn't use the other buttons, but it's not good. So the A button is tied to basically like your items, your attack items, or I guess say overworld items. And the B button is set for your magic. They call it orbs in this game. And then C button is tied to like your supplemental items like herbs and stuff like that. Medical items, I guess. I don't know. So the problem with that is with your attack button, like you have a sword in your A item slot, but then when you're in a dungeon and you have to use like that dungeon's item specific thing, like you have to switch to that, and then that becomes your A button. Now you can't attack, so you have to switch. So you're constantly swapping items in your A slot because there's no dedicated attack button, which is dumb. Like you have X, Y, and Z, why not use those for your items and then just have A button be your attack. Like, I don't understand. Was it too hard to code that in? Did someone forget that the controller had extra buttons? I don't know. But that was the major part. That was really bad. Like, I could get through that, but the other problem with this is the combat's bad. It's horrible, and I can't even tell you how bad it is. Like, if I can find the clips in here, like it's a 5. I gotta scrub through all this gameplay to see. Boy, it's bad. So the problem with the combat is, one, like the A button, you constantly have to swap the weapons out or the items to equip your sword, and then after that, the hitboxes on the enemies is so tiny, like it's ridiculous. You have to get ridiculously close, and then Mars's swing, his animation, his hitbox is so tiny, it doesn't make sense. Like, you're literally up on the mob so close that he hits you before you can even swing the sword. And even when you swing the sword, it like there's no distance. So you're just swinging and missing constantly. Or you have to get so close that you get hit, or like both of you get hit at the same time. And then at this point, and this is the thing, I don't understand what happens, but it's like you swing your sword, you hit the enemy, but they don't take damage, but they get the knockback. Like, they did take damage, but they didn't. I ended up hitting one enemy like 10 times and it didn't die. It just kept knocking him back. And he would not take damage unless I took damage. So I got hit and then I could hit him. Like, it was weird. And it was just your everyday, like, normal item enemy out in the overworld. Like a what was it, praying mantis kind of thing. Like, it wasn't like some kind of like boss enemy or some like elite. It was just some normal garbage NPC out in the overworld. Just invulnerable for some reason. I don't know. I don't know if it was a glitch. It can be, because it happened like a couple times. More than a few times actually. It was trash. I couldn't deal with it. All kinds of stuff like that. You have bats that just fly around and they just follow you endlessly. And you can't hit them because they fly up and then they come back down, and that's when you can hit them, but they're most of the part they're just up in the air and you can't hit them. I'm like, what is this? Oh, and then the enemies respawn off screen. So as soon as you kill them and you move to the right and then come back to the left, they're back and they just keep coming. Now that's good for farming if you want to like farm gold, because you get gold from killing the enemies. But gold is pretty much useless because there's nothing to buy. Now, there may be stuff to buy later on in the game. Like I said, I'm still early, so there were only like herbs and like angel wings to buy. And I got that stuff from just killing enemies. So herbs give you, regain your health, and angel wings teleport you back to the beginning of dungeon. So when you're at the end of the dungeon, you kill a boss where you can just use the angel wing to go right back to the beginning, and you can exit. Which is fine. It's a pretty handy item to have. So, but like I said, combat's terrible. I don't have any magic. I didn't make it that far, so can't really show that. I remember getting magic back as a kid, but I don't remember exactly what it was. It might have been like some earth magic. So I can't really speak on that. So the items that you get, the Zelda-ish items, they're all trash. They might have further uses, but like I said, the swapping is really bad. So I mostly just kept my sword as my A button. But as far as I made it, there's some iron boots you can get. Use those to kick like boulders. You can't kick enemies with it. You just get hit. And you can also use them to stomp like on weak ground, so you can fall through the floor and make it to lower levels. Another thing, you get these magic gloves. They're just boxing gloves, like literal boxing gloves. And he punches, and the glove goes flying. So it's like a It's supposed to be like a long distance attack, but it's slow and clunky. Like it goes straight and then it curves back around like a boomerang back to you, but it's a boxing glove. Uh, I think the other items I got, one was a conch shell. You use it to talk to trees and plants or any kind of magical being, so you barely use that. And there's one more item I can't even remember because it's so trash. I didn't even. I might go through it and see if I can find them, but I doubt it. It's not good, guys. This game's not good. And that's pretty much the gameplay. It's not. Let me check my notes. Let me make sure I'm not missing anything. Let's see here. I actually took notes with this game. I guess that's bad. Let's see. Any button? All right. I'll take it. Yep. Yeah, that's about it. According to the notes. Yeah, that's about it. Like I said, I made it 5 hours in, and that's about all the gameplay I could take. So I guess that leads us to the other sections. So, what are we going to cover next? We'll do sound. So, the sound of the game is actually pretty good. It doesn't make up for the poor gameplay, but the sound is actually decent. Not much I can really say. It's not good, but it's not bad either. The intro music's pretty decent. It goes well. There's real music that plays with the intro, the opening cinematic, but the sound is clean and clear, so you can hear what's going on. It's not distorted in any way unless it's for effect. The overworld music when you're out doing your adventuring, it's real catchy. It does sound like you're on adventure, so that's pretty good. I personally like the town music. The town music is very catchy. I even caught myself like tapping my feet at some times. It's pretty decent. Dungeon music's not that great, but it's not bad. It does the job. What else? That's really it for the music. Sound effects, like killing enemies. They have like a little explosion effect or sound effect when they die, so it's pretty good. Mars, he swings his sword, has a little swing. You know, everything sounds decent. Nothing sounds terrible. The only sound that I think was terrible is when I'll see if I can show it. It's during one of the opening early game scenes. You're going into this dungeon and there's this guy. He's digging underground, and the effect they decided to use was a weird one. It doesn't sound like he's digging. It sounds like I don't know. You'll hear. It doesn't sound like digging. Unless he's digging through rubber or something. I don't know. It's weird. I'm like, why did they choose that effect? That's weird. But everything else sounds pretty good. Not too bad at all. Nothing really else to say about the sound. There's no voiceovers or anything. When they're doing their dialogue, it's a typical like beeping sound, beeping dialogue when the text comes on the screen. And that's about it. I guess we'll move on to the graphics. Now, again, graphics, not bad either. But I said not good either. It's kind of mediocre. Now, like I say, graphics on the Saturn are pretty decent. They use 2D sprites for everything in the background. So, like buildings, trees, all the assets are basically, and they look pretty clean and crisp. The artists on the job, did pretty good. The only problem I have with the art is the sprites, the actual character sprites. It's like I don't know. They look like they tried to use 3D models mixed with a 2D background. It doesn't mesh. Not good at all. The characters look weird. I'll show it on the screen, but maybe you guys may feel different, but to me they do not look good. Like they look like a little chibi. What are those things you see at GameStop all the time? The people collect those head not bobble heads. I don't know what they're called. I don't collect. I see them all the. Are they pop? The I don't know what they are. I'll put an image up here so you know what I'm talking about. But they look like those things, but a worse version, like a knockoff version. It's not good. I really wish they would have went with standard like 2D sprites. I think the game would have looked better, and maybe they would have been able to do the hitbox combat a little better if they used 2D sprites. Because I think that's what is throwing things off, is that 3D model. At least for the combat, and just visually, it looks terrible. Like, I've seen games use 3D backgrounds with 2D sprites, and that looks better than this. Like, I don't know what they were trying to go. Like, I don't know. It's something new. Like, everyone was trying to do 3D back in the day when the Saturn came out, and the 64, and then the PlayStation was right after. You know, it was a 3D craze, so everyone had to have 3D. This was a swing and a miss, a hard miss. They missed 3 strikes, bro. You guys are out. That ain't good. Not good at all. But that's really the game. There's nothing too much to say about it besides the combat being super terrible. I was really disappointed too, because I thought I would feel different about this game. Like when I popped it in, I was actually excited because yeah, man, I'm much older now. So it can't be as bad as I remember, and it's even worse. Oh, I should say the dialogue in the game ain't too bad either. The only reason I stopped caring is because I was frustrated with the combat, and at that point I just stopped caring. But the dialogue during, like, when you're reading, it's not too bad. They throw in a couple cheesy jokes, cheesy phrases. You know, it made me smirk or even giggle a few times just because how stupid it was. But it's not like cringe. Well, it might be to some people, but for me, I was just that's stupid, and I kind of laughed. And yeah, and it's like that throughout the game. It's very lighthearted. It tries to go dark, but it can't because the sprites look silly. Like, okay, I'll give you a prime example of the dialogue. So when you're on your first patrol as a guard, one of the Dark Wizard's like evil henchmen comes out, and he like puts all the guards to sleep, and his dialogue is just so cheesy and stupid. It's just making me laugh. Like, he's trying to be sinister, but he can't be because I can't take him serious just because his sprite looks stupid. So I'm talking about the wrong instance. The instance I'm talking about. So it's the second time. So when you're actually promoted to the princess's guard, basically the same thing happens. He comes in and puts everyone to sleep again. But Mars, the main character, you're going to sleep, but you're like fighting it. So he's like, oh, I see you're fighting because you have some kind of ancient power within you. I will be sure to tell the Dark Wizard about this. Like, just kill me. Like, if your job is to kidnap the princess and leave no witnesses, why leave me alive? To come find you and then take the princess back. That doesn't make sense to me. So I laughed. I was like, oh, this is, like saying he's trying to be evil by saying like, oh, you're fighting my power. You must be pretty strong. Well, yeah, so kill him. Don't leave him alive. He's going to be trouble later, or I'm going to be trouble later. I'm coming for you. I'm not going to let you leave and just take the princess. Like, I'm going to hunt you down. Kill me. And he's like, no, I'll tell the Dark Wizard and he'll deal with you, or I'll deal with you later. Like, no. Like, if I was a Dark Wizard, I would kill you for leaving me alive. Like, what are you doing? But no, even the Dark Wizard is like, is that the guy you're talking about? And he's like, yeah, I didn't kill him because I wanted you to see him. And he's like, oh, well, go kill him now. It's like, what? You could have just killed me when I was It's stupid. I was laughing. It's so dumb. But yeah, that's the game. It's too bad. It wasn't any better than what I remembered. I don't like giving negative reviews, so I hope. Like I said, it's not. It is a bad game. I was about to say it wasn't. It's the combat that's bad. Everything else is decent and serviceable. It's if the combat was just even a little bit better, just fix the hitboxes. I could deal with the sprites, or even that weird glitch where they don't take damage, because I would be having fun with the combat, but I can't because the combat sucks. Like it's no good. Like you shouldn't have to get that close. The animation should be better for the combat, but it's not. So yeah, I got to give this one a big negator, a thumbs down. No good. I yeah, avoid this one. Um, if you can stomach the combat, the story may get good later. I don't know. I may try to get further in it. I don't. I at least wanted to get to where I was at when I was a kid, but I couldn't even stomach it. I might try still. I don't know. But that's it for this one. Hey guys, Undogwe here. Sorry for the interruption. I forgot to put the part where we do the gameplay. So I'll do that here. And the mic pops. Sorry about that. We'll try not to do that again. And yeah, so as far as gameplay goes, here it is. Yeah, so if you made it this far, thank you for watching, and we'll catch you later. Bye bye. I hope you guys couldn't hear that. He would bark right at the end.